So I completed rehab, got the certificate, um, and like whenever it's your last day, you give a speech, and the speech that I talked about was what I talked about whenever was at the podium was like, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people when they talk when it's their last day. I mean, I heard a lot of guys. I'm nervous. I don't I don't know what to expect. Um, I'm scared that I'm going to relapse, but I'm going to try my hardest. Yada yada. It was always I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I'm scared of going out there and messing up. You know, they had a plaque of um, names of people that went to that rehab that ended up passing away from their addiction, from ODing. And there are some guys after while I was there, two guys that left whenever I came in. They were leaving. Two guys ended up getting their name on that plaque, and after I left, three or four guys. So, but that plaque was up there as a reminder for everybody that's there, and so I can understand why they're nervous. About going out, being out there, and these guys, but these guys only been there for like maybe a month, 45 days most. I've been there for 90 days. So I've been learning, I've been given a lot of tools. And, but whenever I went up to talk, I was like, everybody talks about being nervous. I'm excited. I'm really excited about getting out there and starting a fresh life with a clean slate, if you will. Yes, I'm going to have to start over from the ground up, but I'm able to start building a foundation, you know, and being able to go out there. You got to have that confidence, because if you're going to be nervous or you're going to be thinking about the past or whatever the case may be when you're moving forward in life, if you're looking in the past, you're going to end up stumbling. The past is the past. What's happened has happened. The past is, what's done is done. There's no going back. All you can do now is just learn from everything and just move forward. Because, like I said, if you start looking back, there's gonna be a bump in bump in the road, and you're gonna trip and fall, and you're gonna mess up. So, but anyways, so my probation sent two people. I don't even never met these probation officers before, but they picked me up, and they're like, "So where are we taking you?" You're taking me to Lufkin, I guess. Where do you think you're taking me? I was thinking that in my head. I didn't want to be a smart ass to them. When I'm a smart ass, I'm doing it because I'm just funny. I'm not doing it because I'm being mean. I'm doing it just to be funny, you know. Um, so I went ahead and I was like, well, I guess you can just take me to Red Lobster. They're like, where you live? I'm like, I'm homeless. Where do you think I'm gonna go? Where am I supposed to go? I mean, like at this time, during this time, like I got that, still had that negative mindset. It's like y'all caused me to this. It's bullshit. I'm on probation. I lost my job. I'm blaming them for all of this. I'm still holding that grudge. But in my mind, I'm like, you got to take me back to Red Lobster, I guess, man. I don't know where to go. So, anyways, I get dropped off. I a couple of days before I was being released, they were telling me you're gonna have to do 90 days outreach. What that is it's basically, okay, you're still having to go to groups, go to AA meetings, do all this stuff, but you're not in rehab. You're trying to be a normal person in society, I guess, working and all that stuff. Well, and then the place in Lufkin is called ADAC, alcohol, ADAC, AD. Anyway, it was Alcohol Drug Abuse Council. That's what it stands for, ADAC. And so they're supposed to put you in a like a sober living house. And well, I get dropped off at Red Lobster. I go to ADAC, I go to ADAC a couple of days later. But when I get dropped off at Red Lobster, I told, it's like, hey, I'm back. When can I start working? They're like, we can put you in tomorrow. I was like, all right, cool. And so I was like, where am I going to stay? I'm not going back to that tent. It's just, no, I don't want to do that. Because I ended up across the street, so Red Lobster's right here, and there's a service road right here, and there's the highway right here, and there's an overpass bridge or whatever. I'll just right across the street. So I ended up I had a backpack with some bathroom stuff like body wash, rags, change of clothes, pair of shoes. They gave they give you some stuff whenever you leave, plus my personal belongings. And I ended up sleeping underneath the bridge the first night. I had or the second night, or first night I slept under the bridge. Wake up and freezing. I ain't got no covers or nothing. It's still becoming fall time. It's just summer's just ended, but so fall was it's cold in the mornings, and I'm freezing my ass off. Second day, so I have all my stuff. I put it in I'm going to work and whatnot. Anyways, that night I remember I left my I went took a shower in the dumpster area again, and I had a shoebox full of my personal stuff, just random stuff. And I remember I left that in the dumpster area. I had my backpack, but I left that on the chair that's in the dumpster area. Anyways, next morning, I'm walking to go to ADAC for because I had to check in, and I see my shoebox in the parking lot, and all the stuff was picked through. Everything was taken. Man, I can't, to this day I don't remember. It was some sentimental stuff that was taken. The only thing that was left was a chip. I don't think it's here. No, it's not. It's not around here. But I've got it in some of my stuff in the closet. But it was a chip from this AA place when I was in Beaumont. It was for 60 days or something, or 30 days. It was like a 30-day chip, a 1 month chip. But anyways, everything was all, the shoebox was just in the middle of the parking lot. Everything was taken but that chip. And I picked that chip up and I put it in my pocket. And I thought to myself, I was thinking to myself, now I remember why I didn't want to go back to that tent. Now I remember why I don't want to live this life anymore. I don't want to. I gotta get out of this. I can't be homeless. I can't do this homeless shit. This is fucking no. It's no, fuck all that. Because some homeless people, they go after each other, man. I mean, like, they don't care. They'll steal from other homeless people. It's I don't get it. But anyways, so go to ADAC. ADAC counselor told me about, they got some sober houses. The one they usually put the men in, that place is full, but they have this other one it's not a 12-step program. It's a Christian based sober living. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay. I mean, like, in a spiritual sense, I prefer this, a Christian based one, because I'm more of a spiritual person. It'll resonate with me better than the 12 steps. So anyways, I go to this place, this office, gives me the address, gives me the name of this man named Matthew Tatum. His office was right across the street from the probation office. So I went over there, introduced myself. Him and his wife gave me an interview. And, I'll tell them, hey, I'm homeless. They're like, do you have a job? I'm like, yeah, I work. Tell them I work at Red Lobster. Gave him my story. Whenever they heard that he's homeless and he's working, that right there told them that, yeah, he's working, he's homeless. Yeah, we'll take him in. He's trying. That show said he's trying. That's what they told me. Anyways, I go to this place, and it's a beautiful home. It's 5 bedroom, 5 bath. It's 1 story, but it's huge house. Big backyard. There's a church van there. Anyways, Matt and his wife Janae run a church, Grace Point Church. And the name of the sober house was Gracehouse, the Gracehouse. I get there, the guys there, they're real cool. They gave me the rundown, the rules, the schedule, a lot of and you have to make these groups. You got to go to now the stipulation is you have to attend church. You got to do these groups, do service work, volunteer work. The only day you have off is sometimes on a Saturday if you're lucky, if you're not working. But me, it's like I had work. I was able to talk to my manager at Red Lobster to get me to work around their schedule. She's like, yeah, your sobriety comes first, so we'll work around their schedule. So it was fair. I was following the rules. I was going that straight edge. That walk that line, or whatever you want to call it. And so one day, I ended up, having a spiritual realization, I guess, about I almost slipped up. I almost slipped up one time, and that was whenever I realized whenever I realized that I was at a crossroads. and the universe pushed me to go this direction instead.